This sign means A. No U-turn. B. No left turn. C. No right turn. D. No turning. C. No right turn. This sign indicates that right turns are prohibited. Do not make a right turn at an intersection where this sign is posted. On a highway, drivers should signal. Fill in the blank. Before a turn. A. 500 feet. B. 300 feet. C. 100 feet. D. 50 feet. A. 500 feet. When making a turn or lane change, be sure to alert other drivers to your intentions by using your turn signals. On the highway, you should signal at least 500 feet before the turn. If you experience a tire blowout, A. Take your foot off the gas. B. Do not immediately use your brakes. C. Gradually slow down and pull off the side of the road. D. All of the above. At an intersection with a yield sign, you should A. Always stop before entering the intersection. B. Yield just to the traffic on the right. C. Yield just to the traffic on the left. D. Slow down and yield the right of way to other traffic. D. Slow down and yield the right of way to other traffic. A yield sign means that you must slow down and yield the right of way to traffic in the intersection or roadway you are entering.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
A good rule to remember for passing is A. Pass on the right whenever possible. B. Drive with the flow of traffic and pass only as needed. C. Try to get to the front of any slow-moving traffic so that you can see better. D. Always flash your lights and sound your horn to alert other drivers to your intentions. B. Drive with the flow of traffic and pass only as needed. Each time you pass another vehicle, there is an increased chance for a collision. If you are moving faster than surrounding traffic, you will have to continue passing others. Drive with the flow of traffic, within the legal speed limit, and pass only as needed. From the center lane, which maneuvers can you perform? A. You may make left turns. B. You may make U-turns. C. You may pass slow-moving traffic. D. All of the above. A. You may make left turns. This sign indicates where a lane is reserved for the exclusive use of left-turning vehicles from either direction. Such a lane may not be used for passing or for through traffic. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Two-way left turn. C. Two-way traffic. D. Minimum speed limit. A. One-way traffic. Regulation signs regulate traffic speed and movement, displaying rules which drivers must obey. This sign tells drivers the direction in which they must drive when turning onto a one-way street. If you are driving near a motorcycle, you must A. Allow the motorcycle to use a complete lane. B. Drive on the shoulder beside the motorcycle. C. Allow the motorcycle to use only half of a lane. D. Pass using the same lane as the motorcycle. A. Allow the motorcycle to use a complete lane. A motorcycle is a full-size vehicle with the same privileges as any other vehicle on the roadway. You should allow a motorcyclist a full lane width. Although it may seem as though there is enough room in the traffic lane for a larger vehicle and a motorcycle, remember that the motorcycle needs room to maneuver safely. An inattentive driver is a driver who A. Stares at objects off the roadway or daydreams while driving. B. Maintains eye contact during a conversation with a passenger while driving. C. Only watches the vehicle ahead of their vehicle. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Do not become distracted by looking at passengers, attempting to find something in your vehicle, looking at reading material, sightseeing, or daydreaming while driving. Continue scanning the road, checking your mirrors, and looking at the instrument panel at regular intervals. Developing these safe habits will keep you attentive as a driver. It is illegal for a person 21 years of age or older to drive with a minimum blood alcohol concentration (BAC) of A. 0.05%, B. 0.08%, C. 0.02%, D. 0.1%, B. 0.08%. For drivers age 21 or older, it is illegal to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration (BAC) of 0.08% or higher. Driving while under the influence of alcohol is not only illegal, but dangerous. This sign tells you that A. No turns are allowed on this road. B. The road narrows ahead. C. There are a series of curves ahead. D. The road may be slippery when wet. C. There are a series of curves ahead. This sign warns of an upcoming winding road with 3 or more curves. When you see this sign, it means A. There is an object on the roadway. B. Traffic is coming from the right. C. The road is curving sharply to the left. D. There is a merge point ahead. C. The road is curving sharply to the left. Chevron signs like this indicate that the road curves sharply in the direction indicated by the chevron, in this case, to the left. There may be several chevron signs placed throughout a curve. Distracted drivers are at a greater risk of a crash when they are using which of the following? A. CD player. B. Radio. C. Cell phone. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Using a cell phone, including a hands-free phone, or any kind of audio device, including a radio or CD player, can be a dangerous distraction and contributes to the risk of a crash. Which of the following recommendations does not promote safe night driving? A. Keep your windshield clean. B. Be aware that tinted windows reduce visibility in the dark. C. Carry a flashlight in your vehicle. D. Look into the headlights of oncoming vehicles. D. Look into the headlights of oncoming vehicles. If you look into the headlights of an oncoming vehicle, the pupil of your eye will contract. After the oncoming vehicle has passed, there will be an interval of time during which the pupil must readjust to the less intense light. During this recovery period, you are virtually driving blind. How often are motor vehicles required to be inspected? A. Once every 4 years. B. Once every 3 years. C. Once every 2 years. D. Once every year. D. Once every year. Vehicles must be inspected once a year during the owner's birth month. To have your vehicle inspected, you should make an appointment at an official inspection station. This sign means A. Pedestrians ahead. B. End of construction zone. C. School crossing ahead. D. Flagger ahead. A red traffic signal light means that you must A. Stop at the stop line. B. Stop before entering any crosswalk. C. Stop before entering the intersection. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. A red traffic light means that you must stop before entering the intersection. You must at any stop line and before entering any crosswalk. To turn left from multilane, one-way streets and highways, you should start from A. The middle of the intersection. B. The right lane. C. The left lane. D. Any lane. C. The left lane. To turn left from multi-lane streets and highways, start from the left lane. You must stop at an intersection when you see A. Flashing red light. B. Steady yellow light. C. Yellow arrow. D. Flashing yellow light. A. Flashing red light. A flashing red traffic signal has the same meaning as a stop sign. At an intersection with a flashing red light, you must come to a complete stop, look both ways, and proceed only after the intersection is clear. What should you do when you are going to enter a roadway from a private road? A. Blow your horn to warn cars you are entering the roadway. B. Stop with part of your car on the roadway to alert other drivers. C. Drive out fast to merge smoothly with the traffic. D. Yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. D. Yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. When entering a roadway from a driveway or private road, you must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and traffic on the roadway. When turning or changing lanes, you must A. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. B. Signal only if there is visible traffic. C. Signal only when driving at night. D. Signal only when driving in heavy traffic at night. A. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. Always signal your intentions when changing lanes, turning, or pulling away from a curb. Do not allow yourself to become lazy and form the bad habit of not following this law. This sign means A. Side road. B. Low clearance. C. Merging traffic. D. Prepare to stop. A. Side road. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers to be aware of potential traffic entering from an upcoming side road. Traffic signals sometimes display arrows to control turns from specific lanes. A green arrow A is used only on one-way streets. B has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic must turn in the direction indicated by the arrow. C means that you may proceed, but only if the green arrow is accompanied by a circular green light. D points the way to an airport. B has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic must turn in the direction indicated by the arrow. A green arrow has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic in the indicated lane must turn in the direction shown by the arrow. Driving significantly under the speed limit is A. illegal, B. smart, C. safe, D. optional. A. illegal. Drivers who drive far slower than the normal flow of traffic are a hazard. They often block those behind them, making other drivers jump from lane to lane. Under ideal driving conditions, driving significantly under the speed limit is against the law. The best way to deal with tailgaters is to A. speed up to increase the distance between you and the tailgater. B. slam on your brakes to get the other driver to back off. C. change lanes or gradually slow down to encourage them to pass. D. ignore them. C. change lanes or gradually slow down to encourage them to pass. Check the traffic behind you several times a minute to know if another driver is tailgating, approaching too fast, or trying to pass. If another car is following you too closely, slow down and let it pass. Most rear-end collisions are caused by vehicles following too closely. Double solid yellow lines painted down the middle of the road mean A. railroad crossing ahead. B. pedestrian crossing ahead. C. passing is not permitted from either direction. D. passing is permitted from either direction. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you must A. slow down and proceed with caution. B. not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. C. cross the tracks at your own risk. D. find an alternative route across tracks. B. not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. You should look and listen for trains before crossing any railroad tracks. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you cannot go across the tracks. This is true even if they have no signals or the signals are not working. You may avoid the risks of alcohol-related crashes by A. deciding before you start drinking that you are not going to drive. B. simply saying, "No thanks, I'm driving," if someone offers you a drink. C. calling a taxi. D. doing any of the above. D. doing any of the above. The only way to avoid the risks of drinking and driving is to decide before you start drinking that you are not going to drive. Because alcohol affects your judgment, it will be harder for you to make safe decisions after you have started drinking. When you want to make a right turn, your car must be A. near the center of the street. B. close to the left side of the street. C. close to the right side of the street. D. past the center of the intersection when you begin to turn. C. close to the right side of the street. As you prepare to make a right turn, you should get as far to the right side of the road as possible. Do not cut across lanes of traffic to perform any turn. When you see this sign, you must A. stop completely and check for pedestrians and cross traffic. B. slow down without coming to a complete stop. C. stop completely and wait for a green light. D. slow down and check for traffic. A. stop completely and check for pedestrians and cross traffic. Any 8-sided sign is a stop sign. At an intersection with a stop sign, you must stop completely and check for pedestrians and cross traffic in the intersection. Wait for the intersection to clear before proceeding. This sign means A. Lane ends. B. No right turn. C. Slippery when wet. D. Two-way traffic. A. Lane ends. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow and black. This sign tells drivers that a lane is ending and that they should prepare to allow traffic to merge safely. As alcohol builds up in your blood, it A. slows down your reactions. B. makes you feel less confident. C. begins to metabolize itself more quickly. D. decreases the number of driving errors. A. slows down your reactions. As alcohol builds up in your system, it will slow your reactions, make you feel more confident, and cause you to make more errors. What should you be most concerned about when you see this sign? A. Driving with your headlights out of alignment because one side of your car is higher than the other. B. Damaging a tire from drifting onto the shoulder. C. Hydroplaning, if the shoulder has water on it. D. Losing control of the vehicle if you drift onto the shoulder. D. Losing control of the vehicle if you drift onto the shoulder. This sign indicates that the shoulder is lower than the road in the area ahead. If you drift off of the roadway and one wheel drops onto a low shoulder, do not slam on the brakes or steer sharply to try to get back onto the roadway. This could easily cause you to lose control of your vehicle. This road sign means A. Turn right after making a complete stop. B. Right turns are not permitted. C. Left turns are permitted. D. None of the above. B. Right turns are not permitted. Regulatory signs display laws that drivers must always obey. Right turns are not permitted where this sign is present. Pennant-shaped signs indicate A. School zones. B. No passing zones. C. Speed limits. D. Railroad crossings. B. No passing zones. Pennant-shaped signs usually indicate no passing zones. Text will also be on the sign to confirm that it is a no passing zone. Passing is not allowed within. Fill in the blank. Of a railroad crossing. A. 500 feet. B. 100 feet. C. 200 feet. D. 300 feet. B. 100 feet. Passing is not permitted within 100 feet of a railroad crossing. Be sure to only pass where other drivers can clearly see your vehicle. What is the only way to reduce your blood alcohol concentration, BAC? A. Drink coffee. B. Exercise. C. Allow your body time to get rid of the alcohol. D. Take a cold shower. C. Allow your body time to get rid of the alcohol. The only method that effectively reduces your BAC is to not drink alcohol for a period of time. Coffee, exercise, and cold showers cannot reduce your BAC or change the effects of alcohol. They can help you remain awake, but they cannot change your BAC or make you sober. On long trips, you can prevent drowsiness by A. Turning on your car radio. B. Slowing down. C. Stopping at regular intervals for a rest. D. Moving your eyes from side to side as you drive. C. Stopping at regular intervals for a rest. To prevent drowsiness on long trips, you should schedule regular stops. Give yourself time to rest and stretch, even if you are not feeling tired. Fill in the blank. Limit your concentration, perception, judgment, and memory. A. Only a blood alcohol level greater than the legal limit can. B. Alcohol does not. C. Even the smallest amount of alcohol can. D. Only a blood alcohol level greater than 0.05% can. C. Even the smallest amount of alcohol can. Even the smallest amount of alcohol will reduce your concentration, perception, judgment and memory, and your driving skills will suffer. No one can drink and drive safely. This green arrow on a lane use control signal means A. You may use this lane. B. No traffic is allowed in this lane. C. You have the right of way. D. You must merge into this lane. A. You may use this lane. A steady downward green arrow over a traffic lane means you may use the lane indicated.